Welcome to Driven by Janelle, the podcast where passion meets power and women take the lead on two wheels. What drives you to ride?
We are here for another podcast, and again, we want to give a shout out to Jet City Harley in Renton for letting us use their dealership to film this podcast. So today on Driven by Janelle, we're joined by Kimberly Bucy, a powerhouse regional property manager, writer in training, and fearless advocate for women owning their stories and stepping fully into their strength. From growing up in Long Beach, California, to leading a team that manages over 1,300 apartment homes, Kimberly's life has been a testament to resilience, reinvention, and rising with purpose. Whether she's hiking through the deserts of Arizona or blazing new trails on two wheels, she moves through life with boldness and intention. After courageously walking away from a chapter that no longer served her, Kimberly made a choice to invest in herself. She bought her first motorcycle, stepped into a new kind of freedom, and hasn't looked back since. She's not just riding into a new chapter, she's riding it on her own terms. So welcome, Kimberly. Thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. So I feel like I just want to go back. How was it growing up in Long Beach and getting exposed to bike culture, lowriders, and fast cars, and how do you feel like that shaped who you are today?
Oh my goodness. So that started at a very young age. My mom was a single mom, and we lived in the projects, and the Hells Angels, one of my best friend's mom dated one of the Hells Angels, so we always had motorcycles around, and I love the sound of them. I love the way they look. The lowriders, it was back in the early 70s, so you had the Chevy Impalas and the fast cars and the Bounce and just the people that I really just kind of looked up to, as oddly as that sounds. They were someone that were driven. They were their own person, and they were free. They had freedom, and they were happy, and that was interesting to me. Yeah, so it was just an experience. Since then I've always liked going fast. I've been intrigued with motorcycles and fast cars ever since.
And just the symbolism that they had, which was the freedom. Well, not just symbolism, but as a child, that was like, oh man, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I was very young. I was probably, 5, 6 years old. Very impressionable.
Yeah. And did you like the motorcycles or the cars the most, or?
I think I liked the motorcycles the most. I liked the sound of them. They were all very loud. And they were together as a group, and I liked the unity of it all. Even though they were the Hells Angels and they had a bad rap, in my world they were great. They were heroes. They were good to us. They,
so. Like any, community. I think just as a human being, we always crave community. So to have that, especially if you have a unstable community at home, and then you see a really together community, you're like, well, I want that one. I want that togetherness kind of thing. So yeah, that'll do it. So
I had no idea as a little child growing up in the projects that this would be my course in life.
So
surprised.
So after seeing, motorcycles at 5 with Hells Angels, when did you get your first motorcycle or get on your first motorcycle?
The first motorcycle that I got on, I was 16 years old, and a friend of mine had this motorcycle. I don't remember where it came from. It was a dirt bike, and showed me how to go through the gears. So at 16, I was fearless. I hopped on this thing and I took off and through the neighborhood, and all of a sudden I was trying to throttle it down, and the throttle stuck. In the forward position.
Oh no.
In the accelerated position, and I couldn't get it to stop. And I didn't know I didn't know any other tools, like pulling the clutch. The brakes weren't working because the throttle was stuck. And I ran it into a chain link fence in order to make it stop.
Wow.
And That was an experience that marked me for life. I burned my leg on the muffler, and so I walked out of that experience with a pretty big burn that scarred me for a while. And so I walked away from motorcycles.
Yeah.
That was a very scary event.
Yeah, that was like a one and done. It was like as soon as you got on it, that was it.
Yeah.
So motorcycles probably went from being cool to dangerous.
Yeah, something I was afraid of, but a healthy fear. And I had opportunities along my journey of life to be on the back of, I think I was on the back of a street bike once, and again, it was just a very scary experience, and I didn't like it at all, and that was that.
And would you describe yourself as like an adventurous person, a cautious person? Like, how do you approach new things in general?
I'm very adventurous, very spontaneous. I have a good healthy dose of fear. I like being a healthy, able-bodied person, so I don't find excitement in jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. But being on the back of a motorcycle going 100 miles an hour is just, I consider that fun.
Yeah. I feel like with learning to motorcycle, you just learn so much about yourself. Like, how do you approach risk? How do you approach, something new? Like, how do you learn? Like, so many different ways. So, yeah, very interesting. So years later, you reconnected with writing. What was it about being on the back of a Harley that reignited like the spark for motorcycling?
It was so freeing. Being on the back of the bike, on the back of this Harley, being able to see the world without barriers of the car, and being able to feel the ride and the dynamics of leaning to turn the bike, and there was just some feeling that sparked inside me that from the moment I was on the back of that bike, it invoked something within me, and it brings me such joy.
Yeah.
And I think it's just being outside in the free air. It's an experience unlike any other. I haven't had that experience in any other vehicle.
Yeah.
Not on a bicycle, not in a car.
Not on a boat.
No. It's very unique.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if it's the vibrations with the wind kind of thing. It's feeling the ground and the wind at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah. It's grounding, and it's freeing. And for me, nature is my happy place, and being on the back of the motorcycle, I really connect with nature.
Yeah. And so when was this? When was the moment you were on the back of the bike and you're like, this is it? Like,
the first time I was on the back of the bike was, it was about 5.5 years ago. It was October of 2019, so it's recent. And I haven't looked back.
Yeah. So did you just wake up one day and you were like, hey, I'm gonna get on the back of a bike? You have friends that are on bikes, or?
Well, what happened is I met a guy who had a Harley Street Glide, and the bike was a big part of his life, very big part of his life, and so he wanted me to be part of his life too. So he suited me up in all the proper safety gear.
That's great.
And put me on the back of the bike and took me around. We started off riding around in town just to see, okay, is she going to like it, not? And I loved it. And that was the beginning of it. And we went everywhere on this motorcycle. And we spent a lot of time in Arizona, where I also get to live.
Yeah.
And we went everywhere. We've been back and forth to Phoenix, to Seattle, and all over Arizona. Yeah. So for the past 5.5 years, I've been on the back of the bike off and on. And I say off and on because the relationship was kind of off and on.
Yeah. I found in talking to a lot of women, it usually is, it's like a dad or a boyfriend or someone or a brother, to where you get introduced to bikes. Because like, for me, I mean, that's how I got introduced. It was like this lawyer motorcycle group, but I'm the only woman in the group, or the only woman lawyer in the group. So it's all men that get you introduced to motorcycling, but then it ignites this passion that you just continue to do it. Because there's not as many women motorcyclists as men motorcyclists. So that's kind of how you get introduced to something. So
I see that.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationship ended, but my love for motorcycles didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm taking this year off from dating and being in relationships, and I'm really just focusing on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have the love of motorcycles.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, why not? Why not me? Why can't I have a motorcycle?
Yeah.
I can do this. I've been on the back of one for a very long time. I understand.
Yeah.
And that's what really started my journey of ownership and being the driver.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just like, again, with so many women I've talked to, riding a motorcycle is like taking ownership of your life and your interest and your joy, and not having it be defined by anyone else. Even if it starts off with an introduction from someone else, it's really just having it be your own thing. So I think it's just really interesting for women, because I think a lot of people think women, their own things will be something softer or less dangerous. And it's like, oh no, we're taking ownership of our lives by like jumping on this like fuel tank, like it's not, I think stereotypically like what you think of. So it's really exciting. It's one reason why I started this podcast, is to like see that, and to see like when women take ownership of their lives, it doesn't mean that we're doing things that men would expect us to be doing. Like that's the ownership part, is just doing something that is just a pure interest.
Yeah, and
so.
it happened that way for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm moving in this direction, I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it right. I have a trainer who's renowned in the industry. I'm taking safety courses.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be safe, but I want to enjoy what I'm doing, and I want to understand the machine and the mechanics of it. And I want to be safe, but I want to be one with my bike.
Yeah.
And this gives me an opportunity to show myself too that I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always, I've been in relationships off and on my entire life, and this time being single, it really gives me, it takes a lot of courage to go in this direction, and feeling like I can do it. And for a long time, I didn't think I could do a lot of things unless I had a partner. And today I see that I can do it alone, and I have a lot of strong women in my life.
Yeah.
And I meet a lot of strong women.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's great, and it's amazing how the community just kind of grows up around it. There's so many women that we kind of collaborate together, and it is a man's sport. But we're coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. And doing it our own way.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's just interesting because, like, I mean, you can definitely have backpack riders on the motorcycle, but and you can ride in a community, but it is just, it's, for the most part, it's a single vehicle, like a car, a van, all of those things I feel like are more purposeful in having other people in it. So it's like riding a motorcycle and taking ownership, it's like a soul experience, even though you have the community, but like you yourself are having to learn this skill. So it is a true act of independence, like not being in a relationship, like not having, a vehicle that is meant for other people to be with you. Like it's a true, like, independent type of thing. So, I mean, the symbolism for you is fantastic. Like, yeah.
It just makes me cry because I'm so in awe of the ability the things that I never thought I could do, and I get to do those things today. And my goal is to bring courage and strength to other women that are out there that are in similar situations, and to show that, you know, we can do this.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of times there's like fun, definitely in proving other people wrong, but I think sometimes when you like have these limits on yourself, like proving those things wrong, like I think that's just, it's freeing just in that, like breaking, it's like breaking an internal barrier and then just kind of going from there. So very exciting. I'm very excited for you this year. Like lots of, every time I see you on the bike, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're, you know, you're doing it independently, and that's amazing. So, so it sounds like, is it just been like in the last year, you're like, I'm going to get my own bike, I'm going to do my own thing? Or when did you start with like, okay, I'm going to get my own bike and I'm going to learn it?
This journey of having my own bike actually started in November of last year, so it's pretty recent.
Okay.
About five to 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the relationship ended in October, and because it's been off and on, I just decided this is enough.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just pause and just focus on me.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, one of those things was that I enjoy is having the motorcycle and being on the motorcycle. And so, yeah, about 6 months ago, I said, well, why not you? Why can't you have a motorcycle? Why can't you learn to do this? I've done so many other things, and I've overcome so much adversity in my life.
Yeah.
Riding a motorcycle is just another step, another stepping stone on the journey.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's really cool, like, for the breakup to, like, get a new hobby. I don't know why. It's like a reward or something, or like a new skill, or I don't know. It's just, it's like I don't know, it's like collecting points or coins at the end of a game. I don't know why. You know, you're like, I finished with this, you know, this new thing. So that's really cool. And they always say to like break one habit, you start another. So I think starting like a new hobby, I think that's really cool. So did you like get a bike? Did you start with doing a course? Like, how did you start in November?
Well, how I started was I started looking around to see what kind of bike I want, and I started looking at bikes, and the bike I was on was a Street Glide, and it was fully dressed with, you know, lots of side bags and a trunk and all these things, and it was a, I don't know, 750-pound bike.
Yeah.
It was very heavy, and I went to the dealership, and the Harley dealership, and I was looking at motorcycles, and they said, oh no. You're a
Not
novice.
this one.
This isn't probably the best one. Let's show you this little one over here. And I didn't want a little one over here. I wanted something that I can travel in, because I really enjoy, you know, taking trips on the motorcycle, overnight trips, and going, you know, riding for 10, 12 hours in a day, and staying overnight and going. So I need a place for things, you know, luggage. And I came across this tri-glide, and it's a trike, and it has this giant trunk, and it has this pack, and then it has a thing on top of it for storage. And so I thought, well, that might be interesting, because I don't have to worry about the balancing factor, and I can learn about the rest of it, and I can start there. And so I feel like I'm a child again, learning how to ride a bike, starting off with a tricycle.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad way to think of it. That's perfect.
And it has a big seat on the back, so if I want to have if I want to have a friend, I have a lot of women friends that are so excited for me, and they want to ride with me, and I don't have to worry about, you know, the stability of it. So it ended up, I had a friend that has a trike, and so I offered to buy my friend's trike, and reluctantly it ended up that I ended up buying the trike, and I haven't ridden it yet. We have my trainer, I'm working with my trainer, and right now I have it in the shop. They're going through all of the systems, and we want to make sure that it's safe, and I'm putting the tires on it, and I'm getting it ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good way to do it. Safety first, obviously. You want to be safe. And I'll say, like, with me as learning to ride a bike, you know, sometimes I've told like my friends or things, I was like, man, I wish I could just have some training wheels on this while I like, you know, I'm really bad at the switching gears right now, and I'm like, because I hold onto my clutch way too long and it kind of stalls a bit, and I'm like, man, I just wish I had a little bit more time when I'm like learning something new for like the balancing, or just like a little bit more time, you know. So if you have the wheels, then it kind of gives you a little bit more time. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so I'll probably graduate up to a 2-wheel, but this is a good starter for me, and I feel like I'm a kid again, you know, and taking the courses and, you know, getting a learner's permit.
Yeah.
It's like 15 all over again.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to have that childlike experience at this age.
Yeah. And so you said you're doing training for it, or you have a trainer. So how often do you meet, or kind of what are some things you've learned?
So I meet with my trainer once a week, and I've learned a lot about the motorcycle. I've learned a lot about how you turn, and the biggest part was the clutch. I'm learning about the clutch, and on the Harley Davidsons, the clutches are very strong, and I'm learning that I get to work on my strength and endurance. Because it's that part's a little bit of a challenge for me too. Is the clutch part, letting it out, is a little bit of a challenge, but it's fun. It's fun to learn something new and to challenge myself. It keeps life interesting.
I feel like, you know, those like, you see like those 70s gym people where they like doing like the hand exercises with the little squeezy things. I feel like that's probably something, you know, I feel like in being in the motorcycle world, I need to just work out a lot more, like every single muscle, like your mind for sure, but like your body and all of that, even your hands.
That's what I'm doing. I have a gym that I go to, and they actually just opened up a Pilates reformer.
Oh, nice.
So I go to Pilates twice a week, and the instructor just, you know, kicks our butt. And it's great. I'm building muscles. So not only is it, I mean, it's just so healthy, because I've learned that being on the motorcycle, I have to have strength. I mean, you don't have to be a bodybuilder to be on the motorcycle, but for me, it's helpful to have some stamina, because the way I like to ride, I like long rides. And when you're on a motorcycle for 8-10 hours, you need to have a little stamina. Especially being the driver. And so not only
you're getting
am I
ready,
mentally advancing, but I'm also physically better. Healthy.
Man, motorcycles just giving you everything.
It is for me.
By the end of the year, you're going to be a whole new person. This is amazing. So yeah.
It's a journey. It's so exciting. And then you know, I'm nervous. I'm a novice. And I'm nervous with the trike. It doesn't turn exactly the way I'm accustomed to. It's really stiff. But I have a good trainer who has over 20 years experience in teaching safety and training people like me. And my trainer is going to get me to a point where I'm comfortable with it. And I trust that. I think that's the key for me to being comfortable, is to have someone that's renowned in the industry, that came highly recommended by sources that I really trust from other friends, and having that person teach me. I learned when I was 16 years old not to just hop on a motorcycle and go. That didn't turn out so well. So this time I'm going to do it a little differently. And that's kind of the approach I'm taking to my life right now, is that I'm not just jumping into another relationship. I'm going to pause, and I'm working on me to be the better person, and be a good partner. And so I kind of relate the two, and it's odd to me that I'm kind of having this visualization as we talk, but that's what motorcycle is doing for me. It's bringing that aspect out.
So I say I'm like learning to ride a bike. It's just, you get a lot of the realizations of just how you approach life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like for me, I bought a Harley in the fall of last year, and then I took the motorcycle safety course and I flat faced, and now I'm just afraid to ride. Like I have the trainer as well. I'm afraid to ride, so I'm like, oh, I need to like really, really learn and study, but I'm not risk adverse. I just like to know everything that's going to happen before it happens. I don't know. So just it's learning like how you do it. But you know, other people like you said, they'll just hop right on, and then like 2 or 3 days, they're just like, well, I just taught myself, or so I think it really shows you kind of a lot about yourself.
Yeah, the lessons. I've learned a lesson. Don't just hop in. Don't just hop on and go.
Yeah.
You get burned.
Yeah.
Which is what happened at age 16.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing life today completely differently than I did 6 years ago, 5 years ago, even 6 months ago. This is an entirely different way of living for me.
Yeah.
And it's great because I feel like I'm getting back to who my core person is.
Yeah.
I lost myself along the way over the past 5 years, and my journey is to find myself and to be one.
Yeah.
And the motorcycle is a part of that equation.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like it's a big part of it. Yeah.
Very much so.
It's very exciting. I'm so excited. Well, I know you've gone to Sturgis, right, in the past?
I have.
How was that? How was that experience?
Sturgis was crazy. So the adventure began in Seattle.
Oh.
And the guy with the bike took out and left a day before I did. And I had to work. Well, I got to work. So I stayed behind one day and finished up my responsibilities at work, and then I hopped on an airplane, and it was so fun. I was in my motorcycle gear. I had my helmet in my hand, and I had my gold bag, and that was all I had because the motorcycle was packed with all of my things I needed for the trip. And I got on the airplane, and I had my helmet, and so everyone was wondering, well, why do you have a helmet? What do you know? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And
you never, always prepared.
And here's the thing. It was August of 2020. We were in the throes of COVID, and so I flew to Billings, Montana. I got off the plane, landed. They took my temperature. They had all of these National Guards, letting you through. I got on the back of the motorcycle, put my helmet on, and away we went.
Oh.
And it was amazing. Going through Montana, there's this highway called Beartooth Highway, and it's this windy highway, and it's amazing. And there's these rock formations that have pools of water, and it's like the top of the world. You can look out and you can see just everything.
Yeah.
And it's just such an experience.
Yeah.
And then going, and it's cold. So, bundled up in all these clothes. And then you get to the bottom of the highway, and it was Cody, Wyoming. It was hot as heck. So as soon as the bike stopped, I was stripping off all my clothes.
Yeah.
And getting down to something that's more, losing like 4 layers.
Yeah.
And then going to Sturgis, just the ride, being on the open highway, and we always drove fast, 95 to 100. That's pretty comfortable on an open stretch of road. And we got to Sturgis, and there were thunderstorms all around, but we didn't get rained on. And actually stayed in Deadwood, and there were thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of motorcycles. I've never seen so many motorcycles in my life.
Yeah.
And all the people. And there were just parades after parades of motorcycles. And
wow.
I remember we were staying in Deadwood, and that first night we went walking in the town, and I love these old towns, these old historical towns, and one of them had a chocolate cookie factory. And we went in and they had white chocolate covered Twinkies.
That's amazing.
It's like, oh my God. So I got a white chocolate covered Twinkie and sat out on front on the bench and just watched the motorcycles.
Wow.
And that was the first night. And next morning got up early and then hopped on the bike and we just went for rides all over. Ended up at the monuments, Mount Rushmore, and got to see Crazy Horse, and just riding in a line with thousands of other motorcycles was just as far as you could see forward and as far as you could see backwards. It was like a train of ants. We were all marching in unison, and the curves and the beauty of the hills. It was. We were there for 7 days on that in that area. Went to Sturgis probably day 3, downtown Sturgis, and there were literally like 100,000 motorcycles.
Wow.
And there were probably 1 million people. I don't know. It was a lot of people. And I remember I was so afraid of COVID that I found a coffee shop and it had floor-to-ceiling windows. And I went in the coffee shop, and it was like I was in an aquarium. It was like I was in the fishbowl, and it was just looking out at all the people and all the bikes. And it was amazing, just the energy and the camaraderie and the connection. So that was, I was only down in Sturgis once, but all the bands, there was bands everywhere. I went walking and looking at everything, the street fairs and all the great food and all the great music and just the clothes, and just, it was such an amazing experience. While the rest of the world was closed, Sturgis and the motorcycles were just in full gear. And we were throttled down.
Yeah. You were isolated, but like surrounded by so much cool stuff.
It was, it was an experience. Like, and I've only been once. I haven't managed to make it back there yet.
But you will.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to go on your own.
Yes.
Or with a group of us. Maybe we'll all. You and I can go together.
That sounds great.
Yeah, we'll be
do
new
that
riders.
next year.
Probably not this year, but next year.
We have a little experience.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then coming back, riding back from Sturgis, went through Yellowstone. I've been to Yellowstone a few times. So we went once in a truck, once in a car, once in a motorhome. This time I got to go through on the motorcycle, and it was an entirely different experience. I saw everything, all the trees, all the animals, and feeling the wind and staying connected, and it was beautiful. I felt like I could see everything.
That's so cool. That is, I don't know if it's life-changing, but it sounds like it was eye-opening.
Very much so. And then coming out of Yellowstone and then down through Pendleton, Oregon, and just the different topography of the land and all of the different mountains and ranges. And there was this place, and I think it was I don't know where it was. It's called Devil's Tower. And maybe it was in South Dakota. I'm not really sure where I was. But there's this flat land, and then in the center of this valley of nothing, here's this tower of earth. And we call it Devil's Tower. So we have to go there and see what the heck that is.
Like, why is this called this?
But it's just things like that you don't see in a car. Or in another vehicle.
And there's so much between you and everything you're seeing, but not on a motorcycle.
And there's no barriers. It's just free. And that trip to Sturgis was an 11-day trip, and I was on the bike most of the time. And we rode back to Seattle. Got back to Seattle, and the 12th day I woke up, and my question was, okay, where are we going today? Let's go somewhere.
Anywhere.
Just the love of the motorcycle is, unless you've tried it, you really just can't understand how amazing and free it is.
You'll never know freedom, I guess.
Yeah. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe you too.
Well, I'm getting there. So let me see. I probably have more questions. So as far as the training, so I think you're being trained. Is your trainer the same trainer as my trainer? Is it Chuck? Chuck.
Yeah.
So he's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like he instills a lot of skills, which to me instills confidence, kind of thing. Like I said, I like to know things ahead of time. You know, I feel like it's part of my job and my day-to-day life. What I like about the training with Chuck is I feel like he preemptively tells me what I'm doing wrong. Maybe he's psychic, I don't know. You know, but it's like before I fall or before I like mess up really bad, he's like, oh, you're like when I pull the clutch instead of squeeze the clutch, so my bike is always turning, and like that could totally lead to like me falling. So kind of learning it kind of before something bad happens, which is how I like to go through life. I guess like how is your training going? And I guess, you know, because it's learning something new, like is it stressful? Is it exciting? Do you look forward to the days you're training? How do you feel afterwards? You know, it's just learning something new can be different for everyone, you know.
It's very stressful. It's scary. But I have a lot of trust in Chuck, and I see that his wisdom and his experience, and he's a great trainer in the sense that he is showing me, you know, just like you said, you know, he can anticipate if you do this, this is what's going to happen, and so to overcome that. So he preemptively shares some of the things that I'm doing incorrectly, that I could do better, and he shows me this is the cause and effect.
Yeah.
So if you do this, this is what you can expect, and if you don't want that, then this is perhaps a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Do it this way. And I love that he is very honest and direct, and he's very, I don't want to say serious, but he's very serious.
Yeah, I think serious about safety and serious about skill, and I appreciate that when it comes to learning something dangerous.
Yeah, and one of the first things, my bike is in the shop actually because of Chuck. He did it, and I asked him to walk me through the mechanics of my bike, because that's important to me. And the first thing he did is called out like 7 things that I had no idea, and they were obvious things that I should have seen, and I didn't see. And he walked around and said, "These are." So, you know, we need to get the bike in the shop. They need to go through it. And I asked, well, what did you show me? What did you see? He's like, well, there's this, there's that, there's this. And like the fact that the tires on the bike, they look great. They have a lot of tread. So I equate the tires on the motorcycle to the tires on my car. And the tires on my car look good. And even though they're 6 or 7 years old, they're still good and they're still okay on my car. On a motorcycle, you only have a 3-inch patch where the rubber meets the road, and that's all we're riding on per tire. And the tires on my bike were 8 years old, and rubber gets hard after a while. And so I really love the analogy that Chuck said. You ever had an old rubber band? And I have. And have you ever stretched that old rubber band? Yes. And what happened to the old rubber band? It broke.
Yeah.
The rubber on the tires is very similar. They get hard and they wear out after a period of time. And I didn't know that is a safety item. So I learned right away that we need to have good tires on the bike.
Yeah.
Because that's our lifeline.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you know, if your tire pops and you're in the car, which isn't ideal, but you still have this big cage protecting you versus, on a bike or a trike.
Yeah, and it could be very dangerous, life-threatening.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness for your instructor and taking a look at your bike before you got on the road.
that's a testament of a true professional that's not afraid to say okay. And we went on a ride, and I found that the bike is mostly it's mechanically sound. It's a good bike, not a lot of concerns. But I do have the fear of turning, because I'm used to being on two wheels where you lean to turn. And on the tricycle, on the tri-glide, you don't lean to turn, you turn to turn. And it's different. It doesn't feel comfortable, and I feel like we're going to tip over. So that's what he's working on me right now, is the fear of tipping over.
Yeah.
And showing me the limits of the bike, and showing me that, you know, I'm not going to tip over like I think I am.
Yeah. That's so interesting, because I feel like when I turn on two wheels, I'm going to tip over. So you're on three. So the tipping is like not inevitable, but maybe the feeling of tipping is inevitable. Very interesting. So, yeah, and you know, yeah, the skills on a trike will be different than skills on a bike. And
I feel like I understand the two wheels, just because I've been on the back of one. I understand the geometry of it, right? The leaning, the turning, you know, how you maneuver that. And the trike feels really stiff to me.
I feel like you're going to be ready for a bike probably sooner than you think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. We have our next session coming up. I think my bike's going to be ready sometime next week.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah. So and then the next part is he's going to take me through to get my learner's endorsement. So that's the next step.
Yeah, me too. I have a meeting with him in a couple weeks, but it's really just once I can get past second gear and just switching gears, I think I can actually ride. But I don't know, it's definitely an experience, you know. Yeah. So I guess I only have a few more questions. So what message do you hope women may take away from your journey, and just, you know, navigating change and reinventing yourself and healing and all of that?
Well, that's a lot. So the message that I want women to take away is that no matter what your journey is in life to this point, it doesn't have to define you. And you have more power than you think you do. At least that was my experience. I'm really strong in my day job, in my professional life, but when it came to my personal life, I wasn't. And this is an opportunity that shows me that I'm strong all the way around. And sometimes I have a sphere of women that I reach out to, and I don't do it alone. And I think that's the key, is to have good people in your life. Yeah. You can do things by yourself, and we're never truly alone. There's a huge community of women that want to help other women, and I think that's part of this, is to reach out and send that message that you can do anything. You really can do anything.
Yeah.
If someone would have told me when I was that 5-year-old little girl living in the projects of Long Beach, California, in the midst of the poverty and the gangs, and if they would have told me I would be here today, I would have never believed them. And yet that's my journey.
Yeah.
I went from poverty, single mom, then stepdad, and craziness there, and went from this crazy life to being here today, and I'm good with myself, and I'm good with, I'm good with life, and I'm excited about my next step in the journey.
Yeah.
I forgot the second question.
Me too. So I guess kind of going along that line, if you could go back and talk to the version of yourself who was like 5, like what would you tell her?
I would tell her that the journey ahead is going to be, it'll be a little bumpy. Thank you. And there'll be times where you think you can't get through, but just keep moving forward. Never give up.
Yeah.
Because it's going to work out. Work hard and just never succumb to the environment. And the environment doesn't have to define you. You can do anything you want to.
Yeah. And that's what you've done, despite like every single thing. And even now, learning to ride a motorcycle. If that's not redefining yourself, I don't know what is. Yeah.
It's just been, I just feel so blessed that I've been able to come this far. And
Yeah. I feel like sometimes the older I get, I feel like, we come, not like our mothers, but like mothering ourselves, like mothering our like younger selves, like, oh, I could never do that. And then there's the other voice saying, well, yes, you can, and you sound psychotic talking to yourself, but, you're like, oh, I can't do this, or, oh, you get like that whiny voice in your head. And then there's the other voice that pops up and then I think eventually it's like maybe that other voice gets louder, like, oh, you can do this, you're going to do this, I am doing this, I'm going to do what's next. And then that voice starts to get louder and it's kind of quieted that other 5-year-old voice, like, hey, look, I did do it. And, and I think that's a form of like self-healing just in and of itself. So yeah, so go 5-year-old you, go you. Yay. Yeah. So I guess I'll just, ask like for the next year, like what are your goals, just this year or the next year, like with motorcycling and with yourself, if you had to pick like 1 or 2 things, like, oh, if I could do this, I would consider it a really cool year.
It's a good question. I have goals. So my goal for this year, for the next 12 months, is to really become one with myself and really get to know who I am. And the motorcycle's a part of that. I'm looking forward to being on the bike and riding in the desert of Arizona and just being free and going to my favorite places. And really at the end of this year, this 12 months, I want to be able to look back and I want to be able to see the growth in me personally, from where I was, 6 months ago at the breakup versus where I've become and where I am at that point, in April of 2026. And I'm taking steps along the way to do that. But that's my journey this year, is to really find myself and to be whole with me and to really get to know myself and know who I am.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
It's very exciting.
And
I can visualize that.
Oh, that's even better.
I can visualize, being on the motorcycle and riding in the desert and just having my best life.
Yeah. And just like your whole future ahead of you, the whole road ahead of you, the future ahead of you, on your own and empowered.
Yes.
I can envision that too. So I think you'll get there.
Thank you.
I'm just going to call you in like a year.
Yeah.
Or before then, but yeah. So yeah, we went to Vegas 2 months ago and I love the desert. I love Seattle. I love the trees. I actually love the rainy weather in Seattle. It feels like a Chopin nocturne to me every day. But being in the desert and the dry and the sun, and I think seeing the history and all of the, rocks and all of that, and it's flat but red. I don't know. It's also a very Salvador Dali-ish kind of mysteriousness to it as well, which is really exciting. So
those are some of the things I love about the desert. There's a lot of energy in the deserts, especially in Arizona and in Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. There's a mountain. It's called, I don't know what it's called, St. Charles, St. something, and it's a good place to ride your motorcycle. Nice windy road.
Yeah.
It's really fun, but it's beautiful. You have the different color rocks and the trees and the things that you don't normally expect to see in a desert.
Yeah, it's very cool. I can see why you split your time between both. It's very cool. You get both worlds.
It's really a full life. I get the best of both worlds. I love being here in the spring, and then mostly I liked being here in the summer. July and August is beautiful here, and I like being in Arizona the rest of the time.
Yeah. So it's so weird. I love. I mean, everyone loves Seattle. Summers are amazing. I actually don't mind like October through December. I don't know why. It's really mysterious. I don't know. It gets dark. You have all the Christmas lights and the rain. I don't know. It's just very mysterious. It's so weird. I'm a weird person. So
You're perfect. You're in the perfect location.
Yes. Yeah. It's the perfect weather for me. So yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share in the podcast or with anyone?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity to come here and to kind of share a little bit of my story.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And for all of you out there that are thinking that you can't do it, you can. And I'm living proof of that. From the North Long Beach ghetto to Seattle, Washington, and having my own bike and my own life, and being on this journey. If I can do it, anyone can. So just get out there and do it.
Yay. Yay. Well, you're going to inspire so many people. So, yeah, and so many women. So yeah. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing. I appreciate that too.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yay. Yay for this year.
Yes.
So,
me too.
All right, guys. I always do a thumbs up.